We've been wanting to print more hats with our DTF transfers, so when I saw that Michaels had the Cricut Hat Press on sale for $79, I really couldn't resist, so we headed on down and were able to grab, I think, the last one that they actually had in stock here, and sure enough, there was on sale, $79. We were able to get it. Let's go ahead, head back to the shop, see what we got. All right, guys, just got back. I did not honestly expect to get this guy on sale. So, bonus if you guys are interested in getting it fairly soon, because they are seemingly on sale at Michaels. When I did go and buy this, there was a thick layer of dust on top of it all over the box. In fact, there still even is some on there. So much so that when I was actually getting it down, the person had a sneezing attack. They were really going at it because I guess a lot of people are buying these things. So when we do open the box, we are greeted with a really nice experience so far. This looks pretty great. So we have what is the resting plate for the actual hat press. This is pretty nice. This is really well built, honestly. It's a really high quality piece of material. So here we have what I assume is the instructional pamphlet. And inside here, we have what is basically like the actual hat press pillow. So on here, we have the nice Cricut logo. And then this is what we're actually going to be using to position our hat before we actually get it heat pressed. So this is pretty interesting. This is kind of the key to the whole magic of the Cricut Hat Press, is the things that we're going to be able to try and do with this kind of cushion, beanbag, whatever you want to call it. So still in the box here though, we have just the actual hat press itself. Again, that really just feels like a nice solid piece of machinery. It's really high, it's well built. And then I have what looks like a very small roll of heat resistant tape. Cricut does make some really good heat resistant tape. We have our own that we use all the time in our shop right here actually, but what we use is a knockoff version on Amazon. I can link this down below. It's the same thing, it's just a lot cheaper and you don't actually have to pay the Cricut tax. So give us a little bit of that, it looks like. But all in all, that's all we got left in the box, so we can go ahead and set this aside. Okay, so we're here with all of the elements that we came in the box. Let's go ahead and actually start getting this beanbag unwrapped here and starting to see what this is all about. So for those of you guys who might know, using a hat press normally comes with its own specific platen, and that's all well and good, but actually positioning the hat, I know from experience, can take some getting used to and some figuring. So I am anxious to really put this to the test and see if this can actually help form around the hat just a little bit better and make pressing some DTF transfers on hats easier. So we have the actual hat press here with some instructional warning tape, it looks like, and we can go ahead and get this guy positioned on there, plug it in, and I don't think there's really much left to do besides actually get this guy plugged in and coming up to temperature to give it a try. At the Cricut Hat Press heat press, whatever you want to call it, it looks just like any normal heat press platen that would be for a hat. So on the heat press that we started with, it was like one of those 5-in-1s, and it had different attachments, 5 different attachments for the actual heat press. And with that, it allowed you to kind of put different things on there. So you had one for mugs, one for hats, one for normal stuff, one for plates, I think, and just, it was a pretty versatile thing. So with this, it kind of looks like it's just the actual thing that came for the hats, and they're selling it all as one cohesive system kind of here with this beanbag thing. So I got a couple of hats laying around here. I think the only thing really left to do in this video particularly, I have a whole long form video that I'm going to be doing talking about this whole product, seeing where it can actually fit into us looking to use this possibly for business. There is one other thing that I think we can't not talk about when it comes to this specific product, and that's going to be the app here. So this was one thing that I saw, especially when I was doing the research. This app is a problematic thing that I think when I actually do this deep dive video, we're going to be talking a lot about this app, because a lot of control is coming with this app, and apparently people are not happy with it. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but let's plug it in and see what we can do here. See if we can get a hat with the DTF transfer finished up here with this Cricut Hat Press. Alright guys, it was about right here where I really started to realize what I had gotten myself into and what I was just talking about with that app thing. So I'm trying to see what's going on, if it's starting to come up to temperature. It's just a flashing light right now, and there is no other thing that I can do by clicking the buttons. So I am thinking at this point maybe it's coming up to temperature. Might as well go look into that pamphlet that we got that I apparently thought was trash, and see what we got going on here. But a little bit of foreshadowing. We are going to need that nice Cricut app. So we're going to have to get that downloaded on our phones and install the software, because spoiler alert, you need to activate this Cricut heat press before you can actually use it. I can't believe it myself, guys. You have to activate a heat press before you can even start using it. And after you activate it, you don't have to keep on using the app, but you sure as heck do need to download the app and connect it to a Cricut account before you can actually start pressing some hats and using this Cricut Hat Press. Alright though, let's see how this thing does, because it's going to have to be pretty good to stack up. And honestly, as soon as I did get started and I was seeing how helpful the app was in actually like telling me exactly what to do with the material or whatever, another user error right there. It didn't tell me to press the press button. So right here, I actually did not follow the instructions correctly. The app was telling me to pre-press the hat without the design on there and then press it for 60 seconds again. So here you can see me actually getting that 60-second press. 60 seconds to me for a DTF transfer is a really long time. I am definitely going to have to get into this a lot more and see what it actually takes to get one of these applied. I had a couple of, I don't know if you want to call them mess ups or errors earlier, but I'm still figuring out how to use this thing properly. 60 seconds, because they don't even have DTF transfers in there when you put the material type on there. And yeah, I'll just let you guys wait for the full review on that, but I was able to get one of these pressed on really easily. All in all, it's a high quality tool, and the app integration, while annoying, no doubt, the value that it adds, I do believe, is probably worth having the app on your phone, especially if this is something that you're going to be using on the regular. It was pretty nice, I gotta say. The integration between the heat press and the app and the materials, and if you are already in the Cricut ecosystem, you're using their vinyl, you're using all of their other products, then this could be a pretty interesting offer, because having the ability to easily select which material type you're doing in the app, choosing just from the drop down, and then not having to worry about what your settings are, how long you're doing it, the pressure, all of this adding up, I mean, it's a compelling offer. And for $80, especially if even you're just doing hats on maybe the occasion, you're not doing them on the regular. If you have a client who even like once a quarter maybe asks if you guys do hats, picking one of these up, and I mean, that client, how many are they typically ordering when they do ask? Maybe 30 or 40 hats on the maximum. I think it would be pretty easy to crank out 40 hats with this heat press, and I think your hand would definitely be sore at the end of it, especially maybe even your shoulder from applying all of the pressure. But I think if you're doing maybe like 5 to 10 and you're not doing them that regularly, this could be a very interesting value proposition product. So get subscribed, guys. We're going to be doing a full review on this Cricut Hat Press, seeing exactly where it can fit into your business, where it fits into your business, if it does at all, right? Because it's a crafter's tool at the end of the day. You saw me pick this up at Michael's. So is it going to be able to stand the test of time and actually do business level work? You're going to have to wait till the full review. That's going to drop coming soon. But if you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like down below, get subscribed. If you need any DTF transfers for your new Cricut heat press, hat press, whatever, check out amstransfers.com. Till then, I'll see you in the next video.
Hype. 3 gens a day, living in the prototype. Got the watermark bleeding on the fresh design. She see the future, gotta make it mine. Account is active, tied up with the Gmail, but the file's getting purged, man, this life is frail. 3-day retention, then it fade to dust. Need a new tier in the code I trust. Tired of the limits, tired of the block. UTC reset, racing the clock. Start to upgrade.